Welcome everyone to another exciting night at Leaders Recognizing Leaders. Tonight we have the distinguished honor to have an amazing student leader, speaker, author, founder. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting to be able to have Isaiah to be the person who's leading us in this conversation around career talks. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn the mics over to Isaiah because he's going to introduce himself. And then from there, we would have the honor of having to hear from Jahkil, who is going to share with us a little bit about his leadership. So welcome to Leaders Recognizing Leaders, Jahkil.
Hi, Jahkil. Thank you for taking the time to join us here at Leaders Recognizing Leaders. My name is Isaiah. I'm a freshman in high school, and I'm happy to be your student host today. I just want to start off by asking, is everything well? Are you good? Everything?
Yep, I'm good. How about you?
I'm good, thank you. Okay, so the first question is, tell me about yourself and what made you write the children's book, I Am?
Yes, so my name is Jahkil Jackson. I'm 13 years old. I like watching TV, playing 2K21. I like playing basketball, tap dancing, and a lot of other things. So I wrote a children's book called I Am recently, and it's about bullying and trying to help other kids get through that tough time. So I wrote the book based off of my story and my journey through 6th and 7th grade with bullying and teasing. And I wanted to help other kids who may be going through something similar get through that, get through that tough time because I know how it feels.
Okay, okay, okay. So how would your friends describe you?
Good question. I don't really know because I guess I could make a guess, but I don't really ask them. So if I had to just guess, it would probably be very goofy. Cause I like when I'm not around like cameras and stuff, I'm a very goofy person. So a lot of people know that about me.
All right. I want to go back to question one. When you said the book Project I Am is about your story, I just want to say that is an amazing story. I will be looking into it. Um, and I just want to say you are very bold and you are very, what's the word? You are very courageous for speaking up about bullying, and that can encourage other children to come out and bullying, how their experience with bullying is too. So you just led the pathway, the break point for people to start coming out with their issues with bullying, and you basically almost started a movement. Yes, you did actually start a movement. At your age, you started a movement, and that is very good. And I'm actually very proud of you. At 13, that is very, very good.
Thank you.
Okay, so who is your greatest inspiration? Who do you look at that inspired you throughout this whole time, with you becoming an author, with you finding your nonprofit? Who was your greatest inspiration?
Yeah, I think it was my parents, and they still are. They're a really big part of this organization, and they're part of the reason why I started the organization. I was looking up to them because I wanted to be like them, and they were really good role models for me, especially since they both work for themselves. They're their own boss, so they don't work for anybody. And I kind of took that and wanted to build off of that, and I just looked after them a lot for like business reasons and just helping others. They're very community like type people. They help out like with kids and they love working with kids. So it's just something in my family, I think. And also my dog JJ, he's awesome. And he's you might not be able to tell because he can't talk, but sometimes he is a really nice dog. And it's just a family thing, I think.
Okay, so I could definitely see right now that you do have that leader personality and that entrepreneurship personality. So that is very great, especially at a young age. We do need that in today's society. So that's actually very great. Who are some of the coolest people that you have met out throughout your lifetime?
I'm gonna start with President Obama, well, former President Obama. He was probably the that was one of the best days of my life, honestly, especially since like meeting the first black president. especially since I'm me growing up into the first Black president, not knowing anything else but that, is really inspirational. It really is a great moment for that to my dream to come true and meet him, and him actually to like want to help me with my organization is awesome. So I'm gonna start with him. Uh, I think maybe Derek Rose. He's a pretty cool person. Also, being that my dad grew up with him in like the same neighborhood and all his brothers, and getting to meet him is pretty cool. I've met like a lot of NBA players, and if I could meet somebody, I would say I would say Martin Luther King, just
Mm.
because of everything that he's been through, and also being able to get knowledge from him, and understand what was happening back then, and him to actually paint those pictures, paint the picture in me, or Frederick Douglass, so I can go way back to that time in slavery. I'm a very curious person. That's also something other people would say about me. So being like history and just how things are formed and how things are built up is really makes builds up that curiosity in me. So yeah, I'd say those two.
Okay, that's great. That's great. I also would love to meet Martin Luther King, but you met Obama. That's probably life accomplished. You met Obama. So we have a question from Kayla. She says, "What has your journey been like leading up to now?"
My journey has been very blessed, I would say, because a lot of the opportunities that happen, like Marvel and all these other companies that I've been a part of, is really just a blessing, and it's just me. And it didn't happen for no reason. It didn't happen for like no reason. Don't think that it's just being given to me, because I had to get to a point where I can be able to have those opportunities. So it's just been a learning experience for me. Um, being that I'm able to just learn from mistakes and learn from just like struggles that I've had. It's just pretty cool. So learning is cool to me. So I think that it's just been a learning experience.
Yeah, that's great. Especially, I keep saying at a young age, but 13, we all gonna make a lot of mistakes, especially at around this time. We're gonna make a lot of mistakes, and for you to just be on this entrepreneurship role and just keep going no matter what mistakes came your way, that's very great. So the next question I want to ask you is, what made you decide to be a homeless advocate?
So it all started when I was 5 years old, and that's when my want to help the homeless came about. I was giving out chili with my aunt and my cousins. This is my first real experience with the homeless, so I saw how they lived, how they ate, how they slept, and I really didn't understand. I At 5 years old, I thought everybody had homes, so I was asking my aunt in the car ride home, like, why are they out here? Why don't they have a home? And she was pretty specific with telling me why they're out here and how they get to this point, and it really cleared some things up. Then I went home, did the same thing to my parents. They said the exact same thing. They gave me a lot of examples. So being that they actually had that conversation with me really helped. And I told them that I wanted to give them all houses. That obviously wasn't going to work at all. So we couldn't do that. And I didn't stop from there. I kept asking them over and over and over again, can we give them our houses? Can we keep giving the money? And they began to say, we keep giving the money, that we're going to become broke. So that's when all this coming together. We had a big conversation and we talked about the different things that we have on a daily basis that they don't have. And we thought of blessing bags.
That's very cool, actually. Blessing bags. That's actually very cool. Um, homeless, the homeless percent is rising, especially now. So what you are doing is actually very great, and I just want to give thanks to you for that because you're just helping out the community after everything that's happening. And I just want to say, can anyone become an advocate for homeless?
I feel like anybody can become an advocate for homeless, and I feel like anybody can become an advocate for anything that they want to do. Like it doesn't have to be homelessness. There are so many other issues in the world that we can all come together and work towards. There's poverty, violence, lots of other issues. So I think anybody can do anything. Anything is possible. So like I always say, don't wait to be great. That's my motto. You don't have to wait until you're an adult to become a change agent or start your own business because you can do it right now. So, yeah, I think anybody can. You can be a baby. Well, maybe not a baby because you still need some training by then, but maybe like 5 years old. Like it doesn't, there's no age limit.
Yeah, it's definitely no age limit. Reach to your fullest potential. Okay. You already answered this question. If you can meet one person, who would it be and why? So you already answered that question. The next question I wanted to ask is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So in 5 years, 5 years, where do I see myself? That's a good question. So I'll be like 18 and I'll be getting out of high school. Okay, so I want to go to college. I want to be one and done and go to the NBA. And I think that they will be doing this like thing where they're gonna have players allowed to like go straight to the NBA after high school again, like how they had it back then. I'm definitely not doing that. I want to have the college experience, so I want to get out of high school, go to college for 1 year, and hopefully get drafted after that, and just have a life in the NBA and on my own NBA team. That's a big goal for me in the future for when I'm an adult. And I also want to continue my community service and helping others. It might not be in the same form as Project I Am. I might not be running a business because of being an MBA is probably really busy. So, but hopefully, I can still run it. But any way possible that I can help others, I will do that.
All right. So with the college thing, do you have any specific colleges in mind? And if you do, what would you major in? Even if you don't have a specific college, what would you major in when you go to college?
Yeah, so I have a whole list actually. First is Duke, and then it's Kentucky. Um, then there's Texas, then there's Texas Tech, and then Virginia, and not Virginia, it's Villanova. Villanova is a really good college. Also, I recently, well, not recently, but last year I got 3 scholarships to college. One is to Butler University in Indiana. Another one is to IUPUI, which is in Indiana as well. And another one is um, I forgot the other one, but those are two really good schools. So I'm pretty proud that I was able to do that. But I'm also considering HBCUs, like black colleges, because of a recent post that Mikey Williams had and talking about how lots of HBCUs are underlooked and like why not go into that to like a HBCU. So I'm now considering HBCUs. I don't know which one, but I know it's a lot of good HBCUs out there.
Duke is
And
definitely.
also, yeah, what would I major in? So, I've thought about it for a while, and I would major in engineering, mechanic engineering, because I love building things. I love constructing stuff. Also, I would major in film because I am so interested in cameras and I'm also an actor and a model, so I like am on the camera all the time. It just satisfies me. It's I'm like I said, I'm a very curious person, so it just makes me go crazy when I see such good quality cameras. Like, how is it doing this? It looks better on the camera than it does in real life, so it's just crazy to me. So film and mechanic engineering.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot in common because my favorite school is one of the schools I'm considering too is Duke, and I love film too. So that's good. And then if there is one thing you can say to the other young people like me and the audience, what about starting young? What would it be?
Yeah, I would say it's going to be. I would say to try try your best to go into something that you want to do lots of times when people start organizations, they go and they do it, they do something that they think the public will like, or they think the world will approve of, or they think their family will like. Go into something that you want to do. If it's something that you love, enjoy basketball, tap dancing, and you feel like if it's tap dancing, you feel like the world will think you're weird for it. Just forget about that and go into it. Do what makes you happy, and you'll feel so much like freer. I'm telling you, when I went into homelessness and I started doing that, and I felt like amazing when I was doing it. So also, when you're starting something and you're kind of stuck on like how to start, I would say if you want to do community service, go in your community. That's like the first thing that you need to do. See what things need some improvements, see what things can use some help, and just build from there. Also, you might not be at the certain point in your life where you can start a whole organization. So you can start with something simple as like volunteering. That's volunteering is a really something that really helps in the world, and without volunteering, there we would not be um where we are as a world right now. Of course, as a world right now, we are not doing very good with corona and stuff, but I'm just saying, like, with the community aside of COVID, we are doing really well with like volunteering and helping others, and I feel like a lot of others need to come in and help.
That's great. That's great, bro. So, what is your favorite book that you have ever read?
Yep. So I'm gonna get it right now. This is the book that I'm reading. Actually, this is probably the best book that I've ever read, and I'm not even finished with it. I can just tell that it's amazing. This is called "The Game Is Not a Game" by Scoop Jackson. It was a gift from him because I did an interview with him, and we both like we switched books, so it was pretty cool. And it's just like talking about like this is labeled the power and protest and politics of American sports. So it's talking about all the issues in sports and like just roasting them sometimes, and it's like funny at the same time, but it's like make having you learn about these different things. So maybe like when I go to an NBA, I can know like the different tricks to the game and like know how to maneuver around them. So yeah, it's a pretty good book. Oh, I think you're on mute.
Sorry, sorry,
Oh,
sorry. All right, so we got a couple questions too. Can you talk, if you don't mind, can you talk a little bit about your program and your journey to creating it and everything?
yeah, so with the actual organization creating it, it was pretty, I mean, I'm not going to say it's pretty easy, but I was a 5-year-old kid. I was like, not five, but I was like 7, 8, and we were like just starting the organization. I was just a little kid running around wanting to help others. So I wish that's one thing that I wish I would have done better at, like which I would have started early with, like the financial part and actually starting the business. So with starting the business, it was us just having to think about like how we're going to set it up. That was really the toughest part about it, and other than that, we just started with blessing bags. It's like a pretty simple process. You just do an assembly line and you put one of each item in the bag. And it's a pretty simple process, but it takes a lot of work to like get those items and all the things that go into it. So with starting the organization, it was a pretty cool journey, especially since it just like picked up really quickly after just one article. After an article, a news station picked it up. Then after that, more and more news stations picked it up, and it just went off from there. So
All right, that's great. So with the blessing bags, would you ever consider, if you have the time or any time in your life, would you ever consider um expanding your blessing bags to outside of the US, like Canada, Europe, Africa, Asia? Would you ever consider expanding it to over there?
actually, I already have. I've given bags out to Africa, Guatemala, Puerto Rico, Hong Kong, and Switzerland. There's a lot of places out there. that I didn't even know about that I've given them out to. But I'm gonna try to focus. I've been trying to focus more on Africa. So like the Bahamas, I gave them out there. So those are some of the places.
That's great. That is great. You are truly an inspiration to even me, and you're younger than me, and that's really great. So, when did you start, and how do you think it changed you as a person?
So I started when I was 8 years old, but I was building the organization between 5 and 8 years old, and it built me as a person. I think I got more mature, definitely. I'm still like a goofy person, like running around like that, but I think I'm more involved in like the financial part of it and trying to get like more business savvy with the organization, trying to just understand how it works. And just I feel like I've grown in terms of like just knowing what's happening in the world. I feel like I was just a young kid who like wanted to focus on homelessness, and half of the other like I didn't know half of the other problems that were out there. So now just knowing the different problems and trying to also advocate for those different problems is pretty cool. So I think I've grown in those different types of ways.
All right. So, the other question I had was, how do you balance your work life and your school life, especially at a young age? You're a businessman already, an entrepreneur. How do you manage school and being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so I think it's just my parents. They are great managers, momagers, and dadagers. So they manage my schedule. They make sure that even if I miss a day of school, sometimes or I have a half day, I still stay on top of my work. Also, have a huge calendar right here next to me, right next to my bed, so I can just write all my stuff down on there. And I stay on task. Although my parents sometimes do keep stuff away from me. So like sometimes when I'm doing certain interviews, like they'll just pop it on me like right in the moment and say, "You gotta do this interview. Come on, come on." And it's just so annoying when they do that. Just write it down on the calendar. So although they do sometimes do that, they're great. They're great managers, and that big calendar helps.
All right, Jakil, that is all the questions I have for today. And I thank you for just joining us and this being an inspiration and motivating us already. So I just thank you for that. You just made a set point that age never matters. And I just thank you for that. And thank you. Again, keep thanking you for joining
Thank
us.
you. Yeah, thank you for having me.
No problem, bro.
I just wanted to cut in real quick and say thank you so much to our host. You did an awesome job. And thank you so, so much to our guest speaker. I know you get this a lot, Mr. Jahkil, on your already established career. And I just think what you're doing is so amazing. And the way that you're inspiring your your own peers, myself included. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. I'm currently the Vice President of Strategic Partnerships, and I just wanted to, on behalf of the president, Edwina, just say thank you. Thank you for taking your time today and sharing with us your gifts and all of the goals and visions that you have already started. So thank you so much. I did wanted to ask you though, before you left, is can you share with us any of your social media handles so we can all try to stay in touch with what you're doing?
Yeah, you can go to my Instagram, officialprojectiam.com. Wait, Instagram is officialprojectiam. I always get these mixed up because the website is called officialprojectiam.com.
Got it.
So that is my Instagram and the website. Also, my clothing line is called Trophies. It's trophiesbynaeem.com. My middle name is spelled Naeem. So trophiesbynaeem.com.
Thank
Um,
you so much.
yep.
And do you have, I saw that you had your book. Are you able to post a link in the chat box below of your book link so that we can possibly get a copy of it?
Um, hmm,
It's okay if you don't have it now. I can always just keep in touch with you and make sure that we can get it out to the LRL team.
okay.
But I do also want to go ahead and just share with everyone that the Leaders Recognizing Leaders mission is to teach young people ages 15 to 25 years old how to be leaders and young diplomats, reshaping their mindset for community service, educational development, and global communication in local, national, and international communities. So today's interview was just absolutely fitting for our mission. And I just want to say again, another big thank you. And to everyone in the chat, thank you for all thanking him as well. And I hope to communicate and reach out to you in the future, because we would love to have you back here again. And I know I'm sure you're very busy. And I just think that this would be absolutely awesome for more young people to hear exactly what you're doing and how it's never too early to start. So thank you so much for sharing that. But other than that, I'm done. So thank you again for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me.